Hey guys, welcome to a comic review. We have volume 1 of Alan Moore's Saga of the Swamp Thing here. I read this almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago, I read volumes 1 and 2. I have all 6 of them, but 3 through 6 kind of got put on the back burner. I just have way too many things to read, but so I'm going to review 1. There will be a review of the second volume, and then 3 through 6. Whenever I can get to reading those, we'll review them. Let me get this into focus here. There we go. So this has it has issues 20 through 27. That's where Alan Moore started writing it, was issue 20. And the first issue here sort of ties up the loose ends. So when I read this, I was a little bit lost because it ties up the loose ends of the previous arc, which I did not read. I just hopped in here. But it is pretty easy to follow, even though you'll probably be, a little confused at first because panel 1 says, I had to come Arcane. I had to be sure. And then so, you're kind of a little bit lost, like, hey, who's Arcane? But, it explains it as it goes along. So I was a little confused at the start, but things are really easy to get into with this book. You don't have to know anything about Swamp Thing or the previous 19 issues to jump in here. And it gets real intense. It gets very intense very fast. And the thing I like about this is, and what I like about most older horror comics, is that they usually had a deeper meaning to them, a deeper purpose, especially when you think Tales from the Crypt that gave, that little message at the end of each story. Usually each story had a message, and Saga the Swamp Thing definitely has that because Alan Moore retconned Alec Holland's origin so that he could, sorry, not that he could, so rather that he was never a human. And it ended up being the swamp, like, sort of absorbed Alec Holland's memories and stuff and created the monster. Because his original origin, if I'm not mistaken, was something with like some chemical explosion and something, the swamp, and turning into a monster. And Alan Moore kind of retconned that into Alec Holland died, and his memories sort of got absorbed into the swamp. And so what came about is this monster that just had Alec Holland's memories. And so he thinks he's Alec Holland, but he finds out otherwise. And so he realizes he's never been a human ever. He's just a monster. And he sort of has to deal with that. The book, throughout the book and into volume 2 even, it deals a lot with what it means to be a human. And it has that deeper meaning to it, that rich, deeper meaning that I hope that I could, capture in my own stories. But it has that deep meaning, that deeper context that makes you think about what it actually means to be a human. And so Alec Holland, or the guy who just has Alec's memories, he's dealing with that the whole time. And eventually the Justice League comes in here, one part like around here-ish. I don't really care for that part that much. Now I can't find the pages with their art. Where'd it go? The Justice League is, there we go. So the Justice League is in here. I didn't really care for it. What I did like was, as it goes on, it does deal with some more supernatural things, like demons and stuff. And Volume 2 dealt with demons some more, but it goes a little more straight horror, towards the end, and it deals with a lot of creepy things. But my favorite part about this, I'm going to go to a page here. Hopefully I didn't show too much of the book. This is what I really like, is the deepness here to the story and Alan Moore's prose. It's really poetic. His captions, and so let me get you up to speed on what's happening here on page 58. Is basically, I forget the villain's name, but there's this scientist guy. He kind of goes crazy, and so he's examining Swamp Thing's remains because they thought Swamp Thing died, and so some scientist hires this dude hires a scientist to whatever look at it, and so he fires the scientist. So the scientist locks in his boss here in this building, and so Swamp Thing finds the notes that explain that he was never Alec Holland, and that he's just a monster that has his memories. He was never human, and so this dude attacks the boss, and it gets really horrific. But my favorite part here is like the captions. I'll start right here. You see, throughout his miserable existence, the only thing that could have kept him sane was the hope that he might one day regain his humanity, the knowledge that under all that slime he was still Alec Holland. But if he's read my notes, he'll know that just isn't true. He isn't Alec Holland. He never will be Alec Holland. He never was Alec Holland. He's just a ghost dressed in weeds. I wonder how he'll take it. And I wonder how the old man will take it when the doors won't open, because he's locked him in here. And it is just vile and gruesome, and I love it. Especially, it is very, creepy. They don't show too much gore, though. As you can see, it has a more suggestive panel of the feet right there, and the caption says just the dying. And so they don't show incredible amounts of gore, like they don't show it happen, but they will show you his head right here on the floor. They'll show you him dead. And it's just stuff like that is very intense. It takes you on a bit of a roller coaster. And throughout this book and into book 2, he deals with it, what it means to be a human, what it means to love, what it means to, there's a whole bunch of different things it goes into. And I'm a little bit, fuzzy on it because, like I said, it was like almost 2 years ago that I read this. But it is a very deep book, a little trippy at times. Stuff like this is just insane. I really love the art in this book. But it is a very awesome book. I hope I didn't show too many pages. You're not supposed to show too many pages in these reviews. So I think I will leave it at that. But it is a very fun book. I highly recommend it. It is very deep. It'll make you think. I know some people don't like, the darker stuff in their comics. They enjoy it to be a little more lighthearted. But if you do enjoy dark comics, this is for you. If you like horror, things along those lines, this is definitely for you. But guys, that is it for today's review. So thank you for watching. Please, like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. No, I think I said that twice. Like and hit the thumbs up. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that fun stuff. Check out down below in the description my Patreon. I also have my own books for sale on Amazon. I have a few books on Amazon, my Patreon, my P.O. Box, all that cool stuff is down in the description. So please check that stuff out. Thank you for watching, and we will have another review of Volume 2 coming soon. Thank you.